because it sort of looks like we're going back to 1700s England, what Charles Dickens wrote about when he wrote Scrooge. It's like, well, if they're going to die, let them die and decrease the surplus population. I mean, it looks like we're trying to get thrown back into that kind of society, which didn't work very well. But rather than get sucked into that, I want to give you the idea of whatever is going on that doesn't feel of light and love and the truth of soul's truth. Invite it into the field of the heart. I learned that from one of my matrix energetics teachers, Melissa Joy. She said it in seminars, invite it into the field of the heart. And that is so effective, because what is the field of the heart? It is that upper octave. It is that fifth dimensional higher vibration octave where you're not down in the knife fight, struggling for survival. You are in the place of unity consciousness. Everything is available. There's infinite abundance. There's infinite unconditional love. There is ease. There is flow. There is joy. There is creativity. There's a state of perfect harmonizing that everybody gets what they need out of a situation. So that's the higher vibrational octave. And when we're in the field of the heart, that's where we are. I've said to you before, think of the field of the heart, which is a morphic field. It's a state of consciousness you plug into and vibrate in. Invite everything that's not love and light and cooperation and unity. Invite it into the field of the heart. What that does is it immediately pulls you out of being down in the muck and what I call the knife fight. It immediately changes your perspective from being in it and vulnerable to it and sucked in by it to, oh, I'm not in it, but I can transmute it. I can bring it into the field of the heart and suddenly hold it from a much higher place and in a much higher vibration. And from this place in the field of the heart, I can let love and divine source consciousness transmute this situation and work things out in magical, wonderful, unforeseen ways that I never would have been able to imagine with my little left ego brain there. So just your intention of bringing it into the field of the heart changes it, changes how you hold it, and changes what the possible outcomes are for it. Because you're not fighting with it and trying to fix it anymore. You're bringing it in to be transmuted by divine source energy, which can work out anything. There are no limitations on what divine source energy can do. And you can use that bringing things into the field of the heart. If there's some sort of conflict going on between you and a family member or a friend, perhaps something's troubling you about how things are going, or you're not communicating, or something was said that was hurtful, but you don't know how to resolve the problem, invite it into the field of the heart. And I know as you're sitting here listening to me, you're thinking of this, and you can immediately feel the difference. You immediately feel the situation change and transmute upward into something better. So you use it in your personal life, but you can also use it if there's conflict going on in your town or your neighborhood or your city. Bring the thing into the field of the heart, because it's immediately transformed into something higher and better in the field of the heart. I am using the bring it into the field of the heart, invite it into the field of the heart, to handle what I see going on in the United States with these really, in many cases, draconian and backward moving changes that are being made to American law and policy. I'm inviting it into the field of the heart, and I absolutely feel and trust and know that it's all going to work out for everyone's benefit ultimately. And I don't know what that's going to look like on the ground. I don't know how that's going to play out. But I do know that if we invite it into the field of the heart and hold it in the highest vibration, in the intention for the highest good of all, that what's going on will ultimately serve the purpose of everybody coming into a higher vibration and starting to live a heaven on earth scenario and working, and I know you can feel it as I'm talking, working and living within this harmonized, best for everybody, flow, ease, joy, abundance, unconditional love, creativity, that becomes the baseline paradigm, the morphic field from which we all live. Like that's our new normal. So I'm being reminded to remind you all to make sure to keep good boundaries. It's not that you're walling anybody out. It's just that It is your job right now to keep yourself in the field of the heart, or in the upper octave, or in the fifth dimension, in love, in joy, whatever words you want to use, in your Christed consciousness. But if anything you click on starts making you feel frightened and threatened and hemmed in any way, or disempowered in any way, turn it off, because that is false. That's pulling you back into the other paradigm. And you want to stay in the paradigm by choice and by decision. Stay in the paradigm of the higher dimension, the upper octave, the fifth dimension, the Christed consciousness, the field of the heart. And if you're in the United States, this is 4th of July weekend. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy the time with your family. Nurture yourself. Nurture your light. And just nurture your joy. What is joyful and celebratory and hopeful and positive? Thank you again for joining me today. We'll see you next time.